Hi everyone. Our group will talk about the cloud computing for Microsoft. And Microsoft is the American multinational computer technology corporation whose history starts on 4th April 1975, and it has now become the biggest software company, and it is also one of the most valuable company in the world. But Microsoft is gradually transition to cloud computing, and for this reason, this has encountered many problems. And here is for agenda. And first, I will introduce back for our topic, and then analyze. We do the analysis, solutions, recommendation, implementation, and the conclusion. And the problem with cloud computing in Microsoft are privacy, promotion, and cost. Now turns to Julian to talk about the reasons of the problem has happened.
Thank you so much. So Microsoft confirmed that there had been a data breach and that one of their employees had compromised around 37 GB worth of source code. Another problem because of that was that Microsoft was not secure and could be easily hacked. So the primary code in the source code was not secure and that could be easily hacked. So to solve, one of the things they did to solve this was that they paid a large sum of money to Wiz to fix this problem. Next slide, please. So according to Microsoft's cybersecurity research team, hackers had the capacity to read, edit, and even erase the main database of thousands of its cloud computing data of its customers. And it also reported that over 250 million customers were affected because of this. Next slide, please. So the consequences of this is that millions of people were hacked and their data was released. And because of that, people started to lose their confidence and trust in the company. And also a lot of other businesses did not want to work with Microsoft anymore because they had the fear that all their private data would be hacked. Now, my colleague will be talking about the SWOT analysis of Microsoft.
Now turns to Yicheng to talk about the SWOT.
Okay, I will talk about the strengths first. It has four points. One is the reduced IT cost, and the second is the business opportunity. Third is flexibility of the work practice, and the last one is the access to updates, which is very important. The next slide. And I'll talk about 5 of the weaknesses. It's the technology issues, next knowledge output, downtime. This training is very important point, and it's increased dependency, which is very very important too. The next page. And the opportunity have only 3 parts: adaptive to future needs, which is located to future, very important, and the high-tech environment, it needs technology, the robots and AI, and it's a standardized process. It's standard, which is very point. Okay, next page. And all the stress only at 3.2. This is security concerns, hidden costs, and regulations from platforms. Okay, I want to customize to see more.
Okay, now turns to Jasmine to talk about the solution.
Okay, the solutions for the problem you mentioned is to inform users that their privacies will be affected. their privacy will be affected, to improve data format compatibility, and to switch from a single source to multiple resources. So talking about solution 1, the privacy of Microsoft should take steps to inform their users of how much exposure their crucial information will be getting. It should explicitly state in their terms and conditions what exactly is going on. It should be easy to read, not like these terms and conditions that have really small fonts and a lot of words that you just don't feel like reading them. Encryption and authentication technologies would be a big help to Microsoft. So a pro with this solution, Microsoft will seem like a trustworthy company, given the data breach that they already had. Seeming like a trustworthy company is exactly what Microsoft needs. And then a con, Microsoft will for sure lose consumers. The consumers who read the terms and conditions and understand what's going on might not want to be associated with this company. Microsoft might even lose investors because some investors like to be vague. They don't want the public to know exactly what is going on, so they might lose crucial investors. Next slide. Okay, the second solution has to do with the rollout of Microsoft's cloud computing. Compatibility of data formats is an issue. Data portability is an important aspect. For example, if a customer uses our cloud at Microsoft and after a while it's not liked by the customer, they can switch to another one. So a pro would be that it could give Microsoft more options for cloud computing. And then a con is that the cost may increase to maintain both resources that are being used. Next slide, please. Regarding the cost of development for Microsoft, according to Hossein in 2019, their proposed solution to this problem is to switch from using one single computing source, which is a virtual machine instance, to multiple resources. To explain it simply, instead of using one data source, they can just buy a lot of cheaper sources, varying from cheap to expensive, and then spread their data across those sources. So a pro would be that it significantly reduces costs if part of the resources picked among the multiple are cheaper. But one of the cons would be that the options for sources provided might be confusing and diverse. Also, another problem would be a scheduling problem regarding the function of the resources. Next slide. So our recommendation because it would significantly reduce costs, and every company is looking to reduce costs and increase profits. This would be easy, and to handle the downside of using solution 3, it wouldn't be easy, but it would be more accessible than the other solutions cons. So yeah, handing over to the other person.
Okay, now turns to Yifan to talk about the implementation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Steven. Today, I will share some information about implementation, and I will introduce step 1 and the step 1 timeline and cost. Okay, next page. The step 1, we need to enhance employees' awareness of protection users' secret and privacy. And the Microsoft mentioned in 2020, and they gave us 3 ways. The first one is train skilled employees to become soft super users, and they can solve some low-level users issues, and then we can let IT department to address larger problem. Next one is game-based learning style. Game-based learning style can encourage employees competition in friendly. And the last one is Microsoft provide incentive to complete learning on time, and they give the Microsoft combination small welfare and big welfare. And the small welfare, for example, is some free food, and big welfare is vacation. Okay, next page. What is the game-based learning style? For example, Microsoft use ranking list, and because everyone wants to be the number one, so Microsoft can use game style, and they write the best employees in number one. So the game style can encouraging competition friendly between employees. Okay, next page. When you play the game, and the NPC will give you tasks, and if you use the Microsoft game style, and they also give you 4 tasks. And the first task is the employees and the leaders need to clarify user secret requirement. And task 2 is the user experience team prepare the plan to convey the safety and the reliable of program to users. The task 3 is marketing department collects the problem and challenges faced by user. Okay, next page. And the last team is IT department set up secret types to protect the secret of user data. And this information comes from Microsoft. Okay, next page. Then I will introduce the step 1 timeline and cost. And we give them 2 months to solve the problem. To solve the implementation. And we give 10 days to leaders of each department of Microsoft and the user experience team. And their job is clarify use secret requirements and develop incentives. And then we give a super user 10 days. Let the super user teach other employees how to use the game style. And the last one is the department employees. We give 40 days to develop to employees to complete the tasks. Okay, next page. In this page, I will introduce the cost. The leader of each department, Microsoft and the user experience team, and their number of participation is 40. They need to give a reward to consumers 5,000 and give reward to employees 1 million. Then is super user. The number of participation is 20, and Microsoft just need to give them wages is 83,000. The last one is department employees. The number of participation is 2,103, and the wage is $8.87 million. Okay, that's all.
Now turns to Gurmehar to talk about the implementation step 2.
Hello everyone, I am going to tell about implementation step 2, how to establish and follow best practices for development. Next slide. This step focuses on as follows. First, this step helps in resolving the problem before even it occurs. Second, there are various tools and resources which help in this process. With this process, there is a chance of 0 problems, and it gives a massive development and also will help in eliminating all the security issues before they even happen. Thirdly, this is one of the major implementation, which is a much needed and a very useful one. Next slide. Techniques used for securing practices development. Firstly, code analysis tool. Second, minimum usage of code generation suite and libraries. Thirdly, avoiding usage of banned application programming interfaces. Fourth, use secure methods to access databases. Fifth, use safe cookies. Next slide. There are three best development practices for security. Firstly, review available information, resources to adapt coding techniques and tools. Second, study recommended development tools. Third, the above steps should be clear to all the product teams for the best results. Next slide. As you can see in the figure, these are the main features of best practice: development tools, security check, quality check, app usability, and designing elements. Next slide. For the best practice, it helps as the best practice helps of development ensures no security or growth stopping of the product and the company. Like there is no problem in the company. What else can be so perfect which resolves the problem even before occurring? So it's the best one can have. By following on all the techniques and methods, one can master it very easily, but there is a big team needed for it to have everything working perfectly. Thank you.
Okay, and here is a summary for the overall implementation. And during the implementation phase, a company's first concern is the end user of the software. And during this phase, the company creates a documentation and tools that customers will use to make informed decisions about how to deploy the software security. For this reason, the implementation phase is when the company establishes best practice for detecting and eliminating security and privacy issues early in the development cycle. And in conclusion, Microsoft's cloud computing has encountered problem with security cost and rollout. We have 3 solutions for this, and telling users that their privacy will be affected, and improving data format compatibility, and switching from a single source to multiple sources. And here is our reference. And does COVID-19 have any implementation for Microsoft Cloud Computing? Absolutely, yes. And this affects Microsoft business operation, including employee, customers, partners, and communities. And the extent of this impact depends on factors that cannot be predicted to change. And here is our backup slide page. And thank you for listening.